Screen actors, this video will teach you how to discover and choose the best acting technique for you. You're going to learn the most important differences between the major acting techniques that are available for you to study today. You're also going to learn how to identify and choose the right acting teacher. By right, I mean teachers who are most likely to help you grow and succeed as an actor. I'm Louis DeBianco. This is my channel, Screen Acting Success. This is where you come every Friday for more tips, techniques, and secrets to help you become a more compelling, working screen actor in demand. If this is your first time here, click subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Stick around to the end because I'm giving away some free training that you're not going to want to miss. Acting technique. That's a pretty big subject. Volumes have been written about it, but I am not going to confuse you. I want to make things very clear, so I'm keeping this video simple. What I've done is identified three. There are basically three major acting techniques that you can study to become a better camera and stage actor. And I have found that there is one significant thing that makes each of them different. And that's what we're going to look at in today's video. Most of you know, and some of you may be practicing method acting. Do you know that all of the other techniques that exist, certainly in North America and in English-speaking acting, are all fruits of that one tree that we called the method? You see on the screen a diagram that gives you a very clear picture of the evolution of method acting and how it developed into other things, other techniques. The method was created by a brilliant actor, director, and teacher in Russia. His name was Konstantin Stanislavski. It's interesting to note that he lived between 1863 and 1938, and yet what he created and developed and what has evolved, we're still using today. Is it still relevant? Well, let's find out. He called his technique the system, and he described it as the art of experiencing. By that he meant that he wanted acting to look, sound, and feel like real life. Because before this kind of acting was very stylized, very theatrical. It drew attention to itself as a performance. People exaggerated the way they used their voices. Their gestures were very grand and big. And Stanislavski wanted to give you a slice of real life. All of the things, the techniques that he was developing, the exercises, etc., found their way to North America in 1931 with the foundation of the group theater by a brilliant director named Harold Clurman. Now, at the group theater, there were three students, three participants in that group: Lee Strasberg, Sanford Meisner, and Stella Adler, whose names we all know or should know. So it's interesting to note that they were all studying the same thing. Stella Adler, I know, definitely went off and studied directly with Stanislavski for a while. So they were all exposed to the very same approach to acting. But strong individuals that they were, they all began to form their own take on the system, and eventually they all separated and created their own schools of acting. So People think that all three of them are so very, very different. They're really not. Here are the important distinctions that make them stand apart from each other. In Strasberg's method acting, the emphasis on the work, the focus when you're doing the exercises is always on your interior world, the actor's interior life. In other words, the world of the actor's emotions. So when you're working on a character, you begin to go inside. You do exercises like the sense memory and others to trigger real emotions that would correspond to the emotions that the character in the story is having. There's been a lot of debate about whether or not it's good for your mental health. Can it be dangerous? Yeah, if it's misapplied. If you start triggering buried emotions connected to a trauma you haven't dealt with, not a good idea. But in the right hands, you can bring real emotion that people feel when they watch, and they say, my God, that is true to life. We get that in the work of Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, Daniel Day-Lewis, Dustin Hoffman, host of others. Then we come to Sanford Meisner. The Meisner technique, the big difference between it and the method is that it puts the focus not in the internal world of the actor, but on the other actors in the story. You're acting partners. You focus your energy completely on them. So, to become real, you don't start navel gazing or trying to bring up your emotions, your attention. You work to put it 100% on the other person. So that's why we have what Meisner, the famous Meisner repetition exercise. And what that really is a powerful exercise in listening. What you do is you listen attentively, not only to what the other person in the exercise is saying, but to how they're saying it. When they change their tone, you immediately pick that up, and your reaction should mirror what that other person is doing. And I've seen this used well. It's not easy. It's simple but not easy. And when it's used well, it's magic. An organic, true-to-life exchange develops. What about emotions? Emotions will start to happen without you consciously focusing on them. And then Stella Adler, she made this modification. She said, those things are all very good, but I believe that to create your role and to find the truth of it, it's all in the script. You begin with the script, all of the details, the given circumstances especially, that the script gives you for your character's life and for the character's situation. You focus on those things, and those will lead you to discover your role and your truth in the story. So, quick summary. Strasberg's method, you go inside and you work on bringing up real emotion. Meisner's method, you focus outside on your acting partner. Stella Adler, you focus primarily, first and primarily, on the text, on the script. Which one is better? I'm not going to decide that. Is one better than the other? They all offer something of value. The truth is that when any of those approaches are done well, the work will demonstrate it. We will respond and go, oh my God, that is so powerful. I can't, it's hypnotic and it's real. When it's done poorly, it can become laughable. So, Which one should you choose for yourself? And how do you know? You should choose all of them and none of them. Huh? This is what I mean. If you really want to develop as a well-rounded actor who's versatile and have at your fingertips the right solution, the right tools to use in any acting situation, find teachers who are experts in all three of these techniques. I wouldn't study with them together. I would study with them separately. And then eventually, when you understand and you begin to master each of the techniques, forget about them and create your own. Huh? Let's use this analogy. When you're a little child, you need your parents to teach you and to guide you. Otherwise, well, you probably won't make it through life. You'll injure yourself, maybe have a fatal accident, and die. So you rely on your parents for their wisdom, for their way of doing things, until you become an independent adult. And that can happen at any age. Probably won't happen at 7, but you know what I mean. And then you go out into the world on your own and you begin to develop your own way of doing things. Think of this approach to studying acting, relying on the mentorship of people at the beginning because you don't really know anything. And then when you begin to develop confidence and skill, you should really develop your own technique. So how do you choose the right teachers? I would say you do some research, you go online, you find out what other people's experience with these teachers have been, but ultimately you should see if that teacher will allow you to audit their classes. And these are the red lights, the red flags to look out for. If you feel that the teacher has developed the persona of a guru, where the students don't just respect them, but maybe look up to them too much, and whatever the teacher says, they never question, that can be kind of dangerous. Also, does the teacher speak about his or her technique as if it's the one? That sounds like religious dogma. My religion and my beliefs are the only ones that are true. That applies to many acting teachers. You don't want to study with one of those. You want to study with teachers who are open and recognize that a technique is useful and it may be wonderful, but it is not the be-all and end-all. So choose your teachers wisely. Here's what's important to take away from this video. If you remember the names of the people, the dates, well, that's interesting, but that's not what's crucial. What's crucial is that there is something basic and fundamental to all good acting, and those basics I will call the pillars of all acting technique. And when you know those pillars and you practice them and develop them and strengthen them, then you'll be on the way to creating your own acting technique. And there are essentially 3 pillars: listening, reacting, and surrendering. You learn to listen, to act, and to surrender. Why are they not all on the same line? Because essentially there's listening and reacting. Those are the 2 things that you do. You think about Meisner's repetition. You listen, and then you react to what you've heard. And of course, when you're up on your feet with a script, you react with actions that you choose to influence the other characters. So listening and reacting are the two main pillars, but they're nothing without surrendering. Surrendering is the pillar that holds the other two up. What do I mean by surrendering? I mean giving up your own agenda. When you're in a scene, having the courage and the trust not to think about what your next line is, but to really pay attention and receive the energy of the other actors, and to trust that your reaction will trigger the line that you need. That is big. You've got to surrender your ego. You've got to leave it at the door. And when you do, your creativity will blossom, and you are on the road to really becoming an amazing actor. If you've gotten value from this, leave your takeaway in the comments below. It will inspire other actors and help more people to find these videos and get value from them. If you haven't subscribed already, do it now and give the video a thumbs up. I promised you some free training. On the screen you see a copy of my ebook, which truly is an ultimate guide to self-taping. It covers everything from acting tips to what gear to use, how to achieve the best sound, the best lighting. I give you a list of all the gear and a complete diagram of the studio the setup that I'm using to shoot in right now, that I use for all my videos. I encourage you to duplicate it, and when you do, you'll take your self-tapes to a whole other level. The link to that book is below. It's absolutely free. Definitely download it and apply what you learned and start skyrocketing your success as an on-screen actor. You're also going to find a link below to my latest online course, that's Self-Taping Mastery. That takes a deeper dive into self-taping. It gives you, well, I am there in every single module, taking you step by step, holding you by the hand. It gives you the opportunity to reach out to me with any questions you have, which I will definitely answer. And when you see what I'm offering, you'll notice that there are bonuses. And one of them is a completely separate online course in live auditions. And that course covers everything from what to do before the audition, as you travel to the audition, when you're in the waiting room with other actors, when you're alone with the auditioners inside, actually putting yourself on tape, and what to do after the audition and you're traveling home. All of those segments are really important. Any one of them could take you out of the game. I sell that online course separately for $199. It's yours as a gift, absolutely free, when you enroll in Self-Taping Mastery today. So look at the link. Just check out what I'm offering. If it's for you, I will have the opportunity and the honor to be your guide toward greater success. If it's not for you, we'll at least definitely get the book and start using what you learn there. This reminder, the script, the dialogue, of course, is important. It's always secondary to the inner life that lives beneath the lines and in between the lines. So whenever you have a script in your hands, always feel it first, then you say it. When you feel it and say it, then you'll mean it. When you do all three, you'll probably book it. Feel it, say it, mean it, book it. Go out, create a stellar on-camera career for yourself. Please let me know about it so I can celebrate with you and share your win with the world.